You're now about to hear a true story of events, of facts behind the fiction. You're now entering parts unknown.
What's up, Ghosts and Ghouls? It's the one, the only, JT Ripper, and I'm here with
Todd of Thunder.
And we're back with parts unknown. No.
Yes, indeed, and we have a special one here for you because what we have today is not necessarily a horror film, but it is one of those early creepy movies. This is The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, this movie. Ooh-wee.
Now, this is the type of film that if you're young, I'd say anywhere from like 2 to maybe 8 or 9 years old, this movie can be creepy to you because of the Wicked Witch and the fucking monkeys and the way it looks and everything else.
Yeah, those monkeys are fucking creepy.
For a lot of people, this was their introduction to, you know, villains and horror due to the Wicked Witch and stuff like that. But these are some facts about this film that might make you look a little different at this classical, musical, happy-go-lucky movie.
Yeah, that's not so happy-go-lucky.
Well, let's start off right off the bat. The snowstorm that took place in the poppy fields.
Yeah.
That they used up
asbestos
for the shit, which is highly toxic.
Oh God, it can kill you.
Yeah,
I was looking into this shit and I couldn't believe it. Like, and if you go back and watch this, and like all the snow that's on them is like, you know, it's made with asbestos, and it's like it's covering them, and it's fucking hard to watch after knowing what that is.
Absolutely. Here's one for you. One of the little people got stuck in the toilet.
I didn't know that.
One of the little people got stuck in the toilet for 45 minutes. So MGM had to hire attendants to help the Munchkins on and off the toilets for the rest of the production so nobody else would get stuck.
Damn.
Of course, they didn't have Munchkin toilets.
That's so terrible.
Here's one for you. The Munchkins were only paid $50 a week, while Terry the dog, who played Toto, was paid $125 a week.
Really?
The dog was paid more than the Munchkins.
Well, there was a lot of Munchkins to be paid.
Well, there was, I think, over 100 on the set, but, you know.
I mean, that's a lot of people to pay.
Buddy Epson from the Beverly Hillbillies fame was the original Tin Man cast in the movie. But the aluminum dust in his makeup was so toxic that it nearly choked him to death. It closed up all his pores. He spent 6 weeks in the hospital and was eventually just replaced by the actor Jack Haley, who we now know as the Tin Man. But
yeah, if you want to go back, you can actually Google like him and his gear and setup and everything.
Yeah,
which I think he looked really fucking creepy.
He did look creepy, but he went on to have fame with the Beverly Hillbillies and everything else, and you know, and even Jack Haley, who became the Tin Man, he had problems too. You know, it was more of a long-term effect on him. So
yeah,
the Cowardly Lion costume was made from real lion hair and skin, and it weighed over 90 fucking pounds.
Really?
So
that one's a new one.
Yeah, my dude was like fucking carry around that shit, and under those studio lights, it was like 125.
Yeah, they had like temperature gauges so they could make sure that the fucking set wasn't going to catch on fire. It was like the lights were that fucking hot.
Yeah, like you literally could get burned by these lights just being under it.
Yeah,
So
it's fucking crazy.
the face mask for the Scarecrow was made of rubber, and it was so tight and heavy, it nearly suffocated Ray Blogger. I don't know how to say his name. Bolger. Blogger, I think is how you say it. Ray Blogger.
Mm-hmm.
It almost suffocated him several times during the filming. So we've already talked about the Tin Man going through his shit. We just talked about the Cowardly Lion going through his shit. Now we're talking about the Scarecrow going through his shit.
Christ.
And we're not done. We're not done. The studio executives at MGM, a lot of people think Wizard of Oz is a Disney movie. It's not. It's MGM.
Yeah.
The studio executives at MGM treated Judy Garland, who plays Dorothy, so bad that they referred to her as a fat little pig with pigtails and kept her on what they called pep pills so that they could get a energetic performance out of her for 17 fucking hours straight.
Which also led to her downfall.
Yeah, she became
and her addiction.
For those of you that
drugs.
don't know, Judy Garland died in 1969 at the age of 47 after struggling from the time she was a kid with addiction because of shit like this.
Because she was, what, 15, 16?
She was 17 years old when
17.
she made The Wizard of Oz.
Fucking sad.
And, of course, her body was growing, so they constantly did every fucking thing that they could to stunt her growth.
Yeah.
Starving her, like I said, calling her a fat pig and all. I mean, this is old Hollywood, people. This is old Hollywood. These are the fucking suits and ties, the fucking long cigars, and, you know, you do what I say if you ever want to work in this town again.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of shit. Here's one for you. The green makeup that Margaret Hamilton had to wear for the Wicked Witch was so toxic, she had to be on a liquid diet to avoid accidentally getting the paint in her mouth.
No shit.
Everything they used was toxic. Nothing was, safe.
God
This was
almighty.
1939, you know. It seems to me that if I had a choice of playing in two movies from 1939 that became huge classics, which is The Wizard of Oz and Gone with the Wind, I think I'd rather ride the fucking horses.
Yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely. Like, after finding out all this shit about Wizard of Oz.
speaking of Margaret Hamilton, who played the Wicked Witch, she spent 6 weeks in the hospital from a stunt gone wrong as her hands and her face were burned as she was going down a trap door in one of the scenes where somebody accidentally hit the pyro too early and her broom, her head and her hand, her hat and everything caught on fire. And the makeup was so thick that they had to use rubbing alcohol to get the green paint off, but it was on top of the burns.
Yeah, so they were just scrubbing it.
There was a quote that she had one time, I think in the 70s or 80s, when she was talking to somebody about this, and she was talking about her hand when they were scrubbing the shit off of her hand, and her hand was burnt so bad. She compared it to an orange being peeled.
God.
Yeah.
For all of y'all are wondering, like, it's when they're at the Yellow Brick Road, and then, like, she goes to leave and, like, does her little spin thing, and then the fire shoots up. It was a drop door right there. So
Yeah, it's the first time that you see the Wicked Witch, and when she goes to disappear. So she's in Munchkin Land, and then she's in hell.
yeah,
So,
in more than one way.
and here's another interesting fact. The only reason why she came back to the production and she didn't sue MGM is because she knew if she did, she would never work in the movie business again because of how powerful the executives were at the studio. Because once word gets around, oh, don't hire this actress, don't hire this actor, he'll sue you if things go wrong, and he'll cost you money, and blah, blah. Basically, if an actor or actress said, hey, I want to make sure I'm taken care of and be safe or whatever,
Yeah.
and you don't do that, and then they say, well, you hurt me, so you owe me some money. Yeah, that gets around other studios, and nobody takes a chance on you at all. Because back then, if you know, you didn't just do a movie. You didn't just get a movie contract. You signed with a studio like a 3-picture deal.
Yeah.
And the studio puts you in the movie where they think they want you.
Yeah.
So Judy Garland, of course, who was Dorothy, she did a lot of like musicals because that was like her thing.
Yeah.
So, Margaret Hamilton being older and not so attractive than the young actresses, she knew she wouldn't get another type of role. So,
Yeah. Sad.
The last two I have are not facts. They're more of rumors that go around, right?
Well, I want to. Do you have the one where it's her getting smacked?
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, that's a part of the abuse that she suffered.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring that up real quick.
Yeah. There was a
didn't know.
scene where,
Dorothy's talking to the Cowardly Lion.
yeah, and Judy Garland like cracks up or whatever, and the director got mad and took her behind a tree and like slapped her and shoot. There was like, you need to snap out of it. Stop playing around. We need to get these shots done. Just because, they broke character and had to do, cut scene and do it all over. These people were fucking pricks and assholes.
Yeah, fucking scum.
Yeah, you didn't fuck around on these movie sets back then.
No.
You got into character, and if you fucked up, you got fucked up.
Yeah, it was fucking a travesty back then, and I can't. It's just fucking despicable, hitting somebody like that for no fucking reason.
Well, the hotel that they put the Munchkins up in, the rumors are that some nights they had wild sex midget orgies that involved alcohol and drugs.
I mean, it's so infamous they made a movie about it, Under the Rainbow.
There's a movie called Under the Rainbow that came out in the 80s that is on this very subject. If you listen to the people that played some of the Munchkins over the years when they were alive, like in the 80s, 90s, they heavily denied this shit. This could be a studio made-up thing. So, like, if the Munchkins ever came out and said, hey, we were treated like shit, we only got paid $50 a week and all this shit, it's almost like, oh, well, we're going to, if you say that, then, this is going to come out, then we'll make up these horrible stories about you or whatever. And let's face it, if you're a midget, munchkin, whatever you want to call them,
Little people.
what kind of movie roles are you going to get other than this type of film, like a musical fantasy type of thing, the Nutcracker type of deal? maybe a Christmas movie.